Limbs, today I have something special for you guys. Namely, I'm going to help you guys understand how to use the heroes in Marvel Rivals well enough so you can finally play heroes the way they were intended. And considering Season 2 is gonna come out pretty soon, we shall start with everyone's favorite mom, Sue Storm, aka Invisible Woman. Since the moment she was introduced at the start of Season 1, Sue has been one of the more popular go-to strategists for reasons completely beyond me. Being a strategist with a beefier health pool at 275 HP, she's one of the better strategists for long-term survivability. With an escape jump that will let you go invisible immediately upon use, as well as letting you heal while invisible, there are many opportunities for you to get in and out of a fight depending on what the situation calls for. This is not to say that you should 1v6 the enemy team when you're the only one left. Besides survivability, the fact that Sue can go invisible also means that depending on the situation, you can actually help your team stop a card on defense, get on point if it seems the enemy team is too far in your spawn, so you can either cap or pull them back so your team has a chance to pick them off, or make callouts by checking who is where while invisible. However, if you're going for damage, Sue will not be the strategist for you. This doesn't mean you can't significantly damage an enemy, however. Since you only do 20 damage per hit with a max of 40 damage per projectile, you're not going to make the biggest splash on the kill front. Instead, you want to focus on trying to line up as many people, enemies and allies, in your line of sight as you can. Why? So you can heal and do damage at the same time. This will ensure that you are healing your allies during the fight, while helping them pick off the enemy team. The reason for this is the fact that your ore projectiles go through everyone. So even though you don't do a lot of damage, you will still have a significant impact on the fight. Especially considering you do 40 healing per hit on your allies. And if it seems like an enemy Psylocke or Strange is about to dive you or your team with their ult, you can always use your force physics to get rid of them. Considering that force physics can both push and pull, you can use it as I mentioned before. Push enemies off an edge, or pull them into your teammates so they can pick them out of a fight. This might be a bit more difficult to do when there's a flyer, however. Flyers will be a bit more difficult to manage, and the strategy to actually manage them might be a bit tricky. But once you have this mastered, they will come to see you as the bane of their existence. This is because your psionic surge can actually stop them from flying in the air, especially since you can stop its momentum and have it sit where needed. Depending on the flyer, you might not want them to stop flying in the air, looking at you, Storm. However, for that pesky Iron Man or your annoying little brother, this would actually be better because 1, they won't be able to shoot you from high up, and 2, your team can now slap another squishy around while you watch in satisfaction as you get your revenge for dying to them for the 30th time. And if you misjudge when to stop the no-fly zone and stop it too early, just add a little force physics to try and gently nudge them into it. Success not guaranteed. Even better is that anything that touches the center or tries to pass through will get a 50% slow put on them. Meaning that all of a sudden, they'll have a hard time moving around. However, you might also have a flyer on your team that needs a little help, because it's getting bullied by Namor, or any of the many hit scan characters in the roster. Well, that's where the Guardian Shield comes into play. With a healing output of 50 HP per second and a 3-meter radius, it is the perfect shield to give to your flying and non-flying teammates for a little bit of supplementary health. And if an enemy passes through, well, let's just say they'll get slowed down by 30% of their movement speed for 3 seconds. However, you do have to remember to actually recall it, because when it breaks, it's going to take 6 seconds to be usable again, and then it's a long 6 seconds when the enemy team is raring to go for a fight. Thankfully, when things seem dire, you can always fall back on your ult, provided of course that you have it. Sue's ult might at first glance not seem that game-changing. An ult that heals is a dime a dozen, right? Wrong. Sue's ult as a strategist is actually very useful. It generates a cylindrical field on a designated area where enemies get slowed by 55% lasting until 1 second after exiting the ult, heals 165 HP per second, and lasts for 8 seconds with a radius of 10 meters and 40 meters high. No enemy or ally within your ult will be unaffected. And since there are very few ults that can actually kill you or your allies while inside it, it is perfect for those annoying pushes you've been struggling to win. Finally, we have Sue's team up. Sue herself will not get a fancy button or immediately noticeable changes to her kit, as her part of the team up is passive. You might not immediately think to ask for it. However, Sue gets a 15% boost to her healing, meaning that you will actually have an easier time keeping your allies alive. Finally, let's talk about all of Sue's cooldowns so you don't burn through all your abilities at once. I briefly mentioned earlier that Sue's shield has a 6-second cooldown when the shield is broken. This might not seem major, but taking into account that your other abilities will also have cooldowns, this might be more significant than you think. 6 seconds in a fight can be crucial in winning or losing a fight, so make sure you keep track of your timers. Sue's failed step, the jump that lets you go invisible, also has a 6-second cooldown, Force Physics has 8 seconds, and Psionic Vortex has 12 seconds. With this in mind, remember to keep an eye on all of them, so you can plan and strategize to keep your team alive and win the fight. And that does it for Sue. I hope this helped you guys understand the character better, and if it did, don't forget to leave a like and maybe subscribe to the channel. For now, I thank you lovelies very much for watching, and I will see all you lovely people next time. Bye!